Hey, man.
What's up, Kellan? How's life?
It's going good.
That's good. That's good. Um, First studio, then a car, and now a Zoom call.
That's right. That's right. It's like we're downgrading.
Yeah, well, distancing, social distancing.
We're being socially responsible.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
we are. So I was talking about what was I talking about earlier? I was talking about the education system again, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were
And
you saying about that?
well, I was just saying how students are have evolved. You know, the students who were born in the 1990s and above were taught a different curriculum than the curriculum we're taught now. I believe the curriculum just changed in around 2014 or 15 in that time frame, and they started teaching children critical thinking skills. So I was a part of that, and I'm happy that I was because I got to see both sides. The fluctuation was big, and you could see the difference. We weren't given as much homework. We were not, told to write off of a textbook, read the textbook, and copy your answers down on the other thing, memorization and all that. It was gone. They stripped that out of our curriculum. What they did was more comprehension, not comprehension, but slideshow presentations, engaging with the entire class, that type of stuff. But it's different because, man, like people who were educated by teachers before this curriculum change were different than the people who are educated now. But you know what? I don't think it's only that. Like a lot of things play a huge role in the not just education, like society as well plays a huge role in that. But I looked at Canadian education versus other countries' education, and Canada's and the United States education system is probably one of the worst in the world.
You think so, really?
Oh no, it is. It is.
Why is that?
Well, first of all, if you look at the statistics, education in Sweden, Finland, Norway is way better. And I'll tell you another thing, another cool fact. Did you know university is free in those countries?
No, I wasn't aware.
Yeah, well, it is. And in Canada, it's not. So people can go to university and get a degree for free, which plays a huge role in how society becomes smarter
Hmm.
and not stupid.
So education is more socialized. It's funded with taxpayer money.
Yeah, yeah. And I think
And
that should be done here as well.
you think that's a good thing?
I think it is a good thing for our progression, then yes.
Okay. So
Yeah, well,
what is the difference? What are they teaching you now? In what way are they teaching you critical thinking?
I mean, for me personally, I'll give you an example that I can equate to. Just a couple of days ago, we had a presentation, all right? And it required us to do analysis on a poet. And we had to look at all the information, the background history. We were given a biography essentially, and we had to present this to the class. And it just required more skills rather than copying off the textbook, because not everyone, like, for example, you are given a poem. Let's say you weren't given a poem, right? You would have to have skills in order to complete the analysis, the context, the structure, all the poetic devices that were incorporated. You would need skills, right? So they build your skills, and then they give you the assignment. Whereas before, it wouldn't be like that. It would be just a simple assignment that you have to complete. Everything would be given to you, and you just funneled through this system.
I see.
Yeah.
But do you think that it's gotten better? Like, is it improving?
It's improving, but we are the first stages of it, so I don't even know how it's gonna be, but I believe they're gonna change it like probably next year or something, because that's what they always do. They change it like every 6 or 7 years for goddamn every reason, I guess, because society changes, there's new information that students learn, and yeah, but if you think about it, they're controlling us and we are controlled. We are the sheep of the system. But yeah, our education system is virtually the worst. It's totally the worst. We should be learning pre-calculus in grade 1, just like Michael said.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I know that I've heard that they want to stream people because we do need people in trades. Some people maybe are more suited to trades, so they in the primary, education up through high school, they're trying to figure out and stream people into whoever's going to be in more intellectual, more technical, more basically, yeah, more like go into academia, or people who are going to go into go into some trade or other. um and so because that they don't want to teach everybody everything, because a lot of people are never going to use that sort of thing, right? So they give them the basic stuff that they're going to need for life skills. I've even heard, it argued that one of the main reasons why we send kids to school, well, two reasons, right? For socialization, because they need socialization to develop properly, and as daycare, because their parents got to work. So you send the kids out of the house for 6 hours a day, they got time to go to work. Kids are taken care of.
7 hours.
Right, because not everybody's going to
Well,
end up in
actually,
a highly technical, like thinking kind of job, right? A lot of people are going to be doing manual labor, just retail, really, really basic stuff, right? There's
so
a small
that's where I'm going
percentage.
to stop you.
Yeah,
Everyone, I'm saying, look, equality of opportunity, right?
yeah.
Right? We provide them the opportunity, and wherever they fit there. That's what you're saying, right?
Um, well, I don't know. I'm just trying to say that what people learn in school, um, has been shaped probably by what they're capable of learning, what they need to learn, uh, and whatnot, as much as just the social policy and the social ideas. It's kind of like, I think there's an interaction between the actual people that they're trying to teach and what they're trying to teach.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
The education system's weird here in British Columbia, but I would say it's better than the United States because our population is so small versus them. They're in the 100 millions, 300 something million, 327 million, I think. Um, but like if you think about their education system versus ours, um, it has to be different. But like what I read or what I heard recently was that each state should get to control their own curriculum. Actually, not even each state, each community should get to control their own curriculum, which is a new idea. I don't even know how that would work because then I don't know. It would be a confusion with of all sorts. But I don't know how that will
Yeah.
work
Yeah. That's difficult to say, right? Because then you could get pockets where people are being really poorly educated because
exactly.
of some ideology or other that takes over, and they end up teaching kids bad stuff, right? But
Yeah,
then who's to make that decision that, well, everybody should learn this
exactly.
standardized curriculum? It's difficult to say.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, man, it's
Yeah.
weird stuff.
Yeah. And again, like, critical thinking is something that I didn't start learning, because I am older. I didn't start learning until university, really, because it's university where they give you where you really get into doing argumentative essays. I don't recall uh, really doing that sort of thing in high school even.
Yeah, well, they are definitely making us do that. So it's pretty weird.
Yeah, you're writing opinion pieces for like mock newspaper articles, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't recall ever doing that in high school.
yeah, man.
It's interesting. Did
So
you have that in, by the way?
yes, I did.
How'd you
Has
do?
not been marked.
It has not been
Has not
marked.
been marked.
So
Yes,
did you make any more changes after the last time you showed
I
me?
did make a lot of changes.
Oh, you did.
Yes.
Okay. Is it still this arguing the same topic, or did you change it?
Yeah, no. It's a equality of opportunity versus equality of outcome, which I believe in equality of opportunity. I don't believe in equality of outcome because it's
No,
fucking
which is what the
murder.
term equity really codes for,
Equity. Yeah.
is
Um,
equality of outcome.
I want to change the subject here. Just recently I heard something, man. Elon Musk
Yeah.
was smoking on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah.
And what happened was there was a $4.2 billion loss in stocks.
I heard that. I also heard it went back up. So what you would want to do is look at the stock before that podcast, maybe look right after at the dip, and then check what it is now. I don't think that Tesla lost $4.2 billion. I don't believe that.
Well, they did lose a lot of revenue, but like, look at people, man. They judge uh, people based on what they don't do and what they do, and that's crazy.
Yeah, it's silly. It's silly. Like he did something legal in a city where it was legal, and people judged him for it. The stock took a hit, which is really silly.
Yeah, well, it's pretty funny as well. I mean, if
Because it's
Elon Musk wants to represent a good image of himself, I don't know why he would smoke. Like, why? Just why? Tell me.
well, because certain liberal-minded people don't think that smoking marijuana is a bad thing, like the
Well,
host of that
I
show,
think it's
like
a bad
Elon Musk
thing.
apparently.
Look, I think it's a bad thing. From my opinion, it's a bad thing. Like ruining your image in front of a huge crowd like that. Joe Rogan, seriously, that's it's quite
What
not.
do you mean, Joe Rogan? Joe Rogan smokes nearly every episode.
Well, I mean, this is Elon Musk, right? I'm talking about Elon Musk here. He owns a company. He's a billionaire. Um, did he
Yeah,
not think to
what
do
is
that?
whether or not he smokes marijuana
Well, why can't he just do
once?
that? Why? Okay, look, there could be teen enthusiasts. There can be a number of people that don't like that. Like, why can't he just be somebody who
Why
presents
can't
himself in a
people be more
professional?
rational and like it's the stock of a car. Why should the price of the stock of a car be affected by whether or not the inventor smoked a joint?
Well, he smoked
It's
it
not
on
rational,
a public platform. He
which has
smoked it
nothing
on.
to do with the value of the automobile that he happens of the company he happens to
Yeah, but
own.
like I understand they don't have any correlation, but he did create that vehicle, and it was him who essentially saved the company as well. So I would say it does have a effect on
It
this.
has effect on people's perception. It certainly doesn't have an effect on the marketability of the automobile.
Well, let's say okay. Well, okay. Do you okay? So let's say you create a laptop that is made out of glass. All right, and look like a junkie. You present the laptop in a junkie uniform. You're just a junkie, all right? You don't have any nice looking clothes, nothing like that. Would you think your laptop would sell?
The thing
Because
is,
I certainly don't think it would sell.
yeah, but the thing is that the car already exists. The car is already on the market. If people think, and because the stock market is a very irrational
No,
thing,
it's on the market,
if
but
people think
look,
that
look,
that moment in time of Elon Musk's life changed the value of that stock, $4.2 billion, that is an extremely irrational thing. Like the stock
look.
market is irrational.
His company is not it's not up there yet. Like there are companies that are way ahead of him. He still has a long ways to go. There are 740,000 orders on the Tesla Cybertruck, me being one of them. Sorry, I just touched my mic, but me being one of them. And that number can be refunded. So I could get my refund for my Cybertruck right now if I wanted to, if I was offended by what he did.
Yeah, but
That's how it affects his company. That's how it affects.
it does affect it, but really all that does to me is put human irrationality on display. Does it change your Cybertruck, the Cybertruck that you've purchased? Does it change it that he did that? Like,
It could.
is
It
the
could.
engineering and the materials any different as a result of that?
It could. Do you know how many times? Do you know what Tesla's program is? If your vehicle has a recall or an alert notice, they will switch the entire part out for an updated one. So essentially, over the years, if your car has been damaged, they won't tell you. They'll say, okay, your car is due for service, and they'll switch out the goddamn parts for new parts, which is pretty good, but still, it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want anyone stoned to be replacing that part, right? Because if
Exactly.
they're
Well,
really high, they might put the wrong part in there,
I'm
and you can't
telling you
just
right
have
now,
this stoner company dealing with
person
your automobile.
Ford's owner or inventor or whatever company CEO would never smoke a cigarette or would do marijuana in a public platform on a public platform. I would just if you have a company and it's successful, don't fuck it up.
Then you should present yourself in a professional manner at all
I
times.
That's what I said.
If you're going to
Um,
smoke marijuana, do it behind closed doors, not in public.
or do it, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I'd like to also point out that you got pretty upset that I dressed like a hippie on my last podcast.
Well, I'm not for hippies. I'm just saying. Actually, I take that back. I'm not gonna put my stance out there.
Yeah. Okay. You're not for hippies. Because why? Because they don't contribute to society. They just freeload.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's understandable. It's a conservative attitude.
it's
I
very.
respect I respect a conservative attitude like that.
I like professionalism, so I don't think
Yeah.
that's professional in a society that we live in.
No, but what if they happen to be valuable contributors in the form of art, etc.?
Then it would be a different question,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's a question of morals. So
Yeah. So the actual, the hippie movement in the 60s and 70s was very, very large and popular, right?
hippie movement.
Yeah. So the hippies, they basically started in the 60s.
So what is it like?
It
What was
was
it? What was it?
a bunch of people who basically their core value was peace and love. And also that I don't want to say that they were anti-capitalist, but they basically there was a lot of protesting going on against things like the Vietnam War. They believed,
They are anti-capitalists.
well, maybe. But the thing here's what happened. Here's how the hippie movement ended, according to I believe it was Josiah about 10 years ago. He
The
told me that
movement.
here, let me finish. He told me that the government said, okay, what are we going to do with all these lazy freeloading hippies? Well, let's give them all loans. Let's grant them credit. So they gave them all credit cards and said, here, you can buy whatever you want. And so a lot of them started businesses, and the hippies were turned into yuppies. And most of them stopped dressing like hippies once they were successful businessmen.
Yeah, I'm reading here. What do hippies believe in? Hippies rejected establishment institutions, criticized middle class values, opposed nuclear weapons and Vietnam War. They embraced aspects of Eastern philosophy, championed sexual liberation.
Meditation,
Were
yeah, there's a lot of sexual liberation. The Summer of Love, which
Yeah,
was followed quickly by the Autumn of Venereal Disease.
yeah. Well, so I don't like this, man. How do they influence this society? The most significant for them was brotherhood among people of all races or ethnicity, preaching a motto of love and kindness.
It was
Hippies
peace,
taught
love, and unity, man. Peace,
their,
love, and unity.
in spite of their involvement with drugs and sex. Oh, I don't like that. You see that's the problem. That is the alcohol spreading in our society right there.
The drugs and the sex. Yeah.
It was the hippies that caused that. One of the
Again,
major. One of the biggest problems in society that we don't realize.
Again, very, very conservative attitudes.
The hippies movement started to form after President Kennedy's death or assassination, sorry, and became even more apparent because of the Vietnam War, the civil rights movement, and surfacing of mind-altering drugs
Yeah.
and music. Well, you
So
see, they
people were
caused a
shocked,
problem. They caused.
shocked by certain things.
I look, man. I already told you. I have a professional attitude. When I go into society, it's that's what my core values believe in. That's how I perform in society. I have to be professional.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, a lot of the hippies they ended up becoming businessmen. My mom will tell you that she was a hippie at one point. It
Well,
was
I can see
huge. It was a
transformation.
huge and popular movement
Yeah.
because a lot of people were just disillusioned, disillusioned by what they were hearing about the Vietnam War. So many innocent people being bombed and napalmed, and they were
By the way, they
disgusted by
are
it.
anti-capitalist. So
Anti-capitalism, yeah, I'd say that hippies by and large, they thought that everybody should share the wealth. It was kind of, they were very, very left wing
yeah.
for
Well,
sure.
they there are pictures of hippies outside of the Washington Capitol
Yeah,
protesting.
that
So
that Washington Capitol thing, that's Martin Luther King at the Washington Monument. That's one of the most popular, I mean, one of the most famous speeches of all times. It's actually very powerful to listen to. It will, if you listen carefully, it will make your hair stand on end. If you haven't heard it, you should listen to his "I Have a Dream"
I
speech.
have a dream speech. Yes, I've listened to it.
Yeah, those are mostly hippies attending.
Yeah. Well, I don't do that hippie stuff. So
What did you think of the "I Have a Dream" speech?
well, it was good. It was good. But yeah, I'll just leave. I'll just keep my stance out of that. It was good. He did have a dream
Yeah,
for
he
his
was
son.
he was really he was really against racial injustice, and there was segregation, there was actual racist policies, etc. That as a result of the civil rights movement, new laws, the Civil Rights Act was enacted. Um, yeah, so there was real positive change for relations in the United States.
So I read a poem today
Yeah.
by Langston Hughes.
Hmm.
Do you know him?
Yes, I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah. So the poem's name is "I Too," right? And it goes like, "I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody'll dare say to me, eat in the kitchen. Then, besides, they'll see how beautiful I am, and be ashamed. I too am America." It was a great poem. I did an analysis on this. It was amazing, actually, uh, how he saw racial injustice. But the number one thing that stuck with me is that this guy didn't fight. He was brave, he was bright, and he embraced the situation.
Well, he basically said, "Tomorrow I'm going to sit at the table and not let them tell me not to." So I don't know when he
He
lived.
says, no, he says, "I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody will dare say to me, eat in my kitchen then." I mean,
Right.
he's not fighting, but he's embracing the situation first. I guess he embraced it and then he didn't.
Well, because yeah, like he embraced being told to eat in the kitchen and he laughed and ate in the kitchen, but then tomorrow he's not going to eat in the kitchen. So it's like the famous Rosa Parks was told to go to the
Yeah.
back of the bus because black people had to sit at the back of the bus, and
Yeah.
she refused, and that was major news, part of the whole civil rights movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But does it look like he has a fightful attitude? Because I did look into his biography, and he was bullied. He was bullied by the senator, the United States senator. The senator called him gay. So you got to look at his biography, his background, right?
When did he live?
Um, he lived in 1902 to 1987, I think. I don't know. I think so.
Okay, because it sounds to me like he's that poem is about either being a slave or a servant, right? Because he's like if you had slaves and then
1967. Sorry, he
sure,
lived to 1967.
if you had slaves and then they were black and you said, okay, well, when our guests come, you have to eat in the kitchen, you can't eat with us, right? That would be a hurtful thing for uh, that person. Or if you're a servant, I don't know if he's writing about slavery, if he's writing about afterwards, when say maybe black people were acting as servants and they were still told to go eat in the kitchen, you can't eat with my guests, sort of thing.
Yeah, I do see where you're coming from. That does happen. It happens not only with black people, but it happens with everyone. So it's not really, I wouldn't say that's really the situation, because usually if slave wouldn't eat with, that's not how it works.
Well, right, but I think he thinks that's unjust and
I don't think he would. He was a very intelligent person. I don't think he would contradict that.
I think that poem is racially charged. I think that's what he's arguing against is the discrimination, the
Yes.
putting people below other people, saying you can't eat amongst us. And particularly, he was black. Am I
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was.
So it's about the racial
Yeah, it is,
stuff.
but not necessarily you can't, eat at my table literally.
Yeah, it's a metaphor. Sure, it's poetry, right?
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah,
an extended metaphor.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, man. Poetry has a lot of deep meaning.
it does. So, but yeah, you never actually did get around to watching that whole podcast, the last one I did with Josiah.
Not at all.
The self-proclaimed, well, he doesn't call himself a hippie, but he says he dresses like a hippie on a regular basis. I'd say he's a hippie.
He is hippie.
He's a hippie. But you
If he
didn't watch.
if he
You,
doesn't even want to admit it, then what's wrong with this guy?
oh, I think he would admit. No, he admits it.
Well, you just
He's a
said you
hippie.
didn't. You
No, I
just said,
said he didn't proclaim it to me, but I
oh.
said, hey, you want to dress like hippies? And he said, I always do. But then later, when we were considering names for the podcast, he said, how about a left-wing hippie and a right-wing hippie battle it out? So in that sense, he did refer to himself as a hippie.
Well, my podcast name. I made a name for my podcast.
Oh, a bit of spice.
Welcome back, guys, to A Bit of Spice.
That is a great name.
Woo!
I love it. We
We could do
make
that.
up a handshake and the end of it's
Yeah,
something like that.
oh, action right there. Eh?
Yeah.
Man, I got this down. Holy shoot.
Yeah.
By the way, I was joking. I'm not doing a podcast.
Why not?
I don't have the money to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, well, if I did have the money, I would. But I did spend like a lot of money. I would that number, the amount of money I spent was not a joke. That was a real.
What did you spend it on?
A lot of things. I spent it on security cameras. I spent it on this entire smart home system.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What are you
So
going to
now,
do with a smart home system? You're going to connect your appliances?
well, no, I could just say Alexa, and it will do whatever I want.
You got Alexa?
Oh, I've had Alexa for a while now, man.
I have Google Home. I watched a Steven Crowder thing about how Alexa is full social justice warrior.
Really?
It's hilarious. You got to watch it.
Well, what do you mean by full justice?
If you ask her who Hitler is, she'll go off on a tirade about how he's an evil fascist and everything. And and if you ask her who Joseph Stalin is, it'll say Joseph Stalin was a leader of Russia. And then you say, how many people
I have it on my phone. Let's ask.
Well, there's all kinds of things. So hold on, that's not even that doesn't scratch the surface. It's really hilarious. What is communism? Talks about it really positively. What is fascism? Completely goes off on how terrible it is.
Really?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
This is interesting. My Alexa's upstairs right now. I've had the ecosystem for a while now, but I just got more, so I could probably talk. I can talk to Alexa in upstairs room at the very top floor from the middle floor, so I can call somebody. I can send messages, be like, from Ekamprit saying, "Get the hell downstairs, you piece of shit." It'll just announce that. It was the funniest thing. Yesterday, I spent my time typing shit in, and then it would just like send it to my brother. It's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So It's
Yeah, and
this.
then it's like, how many people did Joseph Stalin kill? And she's like, 44.5 million. And then he's like, you think she would have led with that? It's too funny.
This is hilarious.
Yeah.
Let's ask it. How many people did Joseph Stalin kill?
There is no exact total of deaths for which Joseph Stalin is responsible. However, historians estimate that between 8 to 61 million people were killed under his regime in the former Soviet Union.
Is that Alexa?
Who is Hitler?
Sorry.
Who is Hitler?
According to Wikipedia, Adolf Hitler was a German politician and leader of the Nazi Party. He rose to power as the Chancellor of Germany in 1933 and then as Führer in 1934. During his dictatorship from 1933 to 1945, he initiated World War II in Europe by invading Poland on September 1, 1939. He was closely involved in military operations.
You see how long
War
the
and was
answer is?
central to the perpetration of the Holocaust.
She's just reading Wikipedia. That is Alexa though?
Well, it's my phone's Alexa. I don't know if it's the actual Alexa because the actual Alexa sounds more,
The answers were a little bit different from the box thing that they had on there.
Yeah, well, I have the actual box, so I'll probably film that later and then I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that'll be funny.
Yeah.
So
No, but I've asked Alexa. Like, I would say Alexa's much better than Google Home. It's a seamless system, like way more seamless than Google. I would say Google hasn't even incorporated anything into their system. But I mean, it's okay. It's fine. But Alexa is just seamless. Like,
yeah,
and I have a
because
doorbell. I also bought a doorbell that you ring and you can see the person's face and you can talk to them through the doorbell.
oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. She probably does answer differently from the actual speaker because my Google does too. If you just go to actual Google on my phone versus the speaker, there's different answers. But yeah, Google's not that great yet. And
You have
Alexa,
Google Mini?
yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
and Alexa, based on what I saw from that video, she's actually like quite integrated. She answers the questions without referring to Wikipedia.
Do you
So
want me to go get it right now? I can do that.
no, because I don't want to have to edit this.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I should have brought it down here. I actually have it because I always set my alarm. I just be like, Alexa, set my alarm for this. It would do it. That's what I use it for. I use it for a lot of other things, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's very seamless. I like it because you could just talk to it and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Google has an assistant too that can set alarms and whatnot, but I'm still
Yeah,
figuring
no,
that out.
I know Google is good, but I've used
Yeah,
Google, and I just prefer Alexa. The speaker's louder as well, so.
cool. Yeah, I thought that was a cool conversation that I had with Josiah. I know I haven't watched the full thing, but I'm looking forward to the next one because he really got his own point of view out a lot, and I didn't challenge him too much, but I've been doing a lot of research, and I really think he's been lied to a lot about the police incidents that basically fuel the
He has.
riots,
He's
the Black
not a
Lives Matter
critical
stuff.
thinker. That's the first thing I noticed about him. He doesn't look at
Really?
both sides. Well, he doesn't look. I mean, he's saying that the Latinos and the African Americans, are bad people in society, but he didn't look at the other side of the story of what Trump was saying.
Oh, he's
So
saying that Trump was saying that they're bad people.
yeah,
Because he's saying, well, I heard it came out of his mouth, blah blah blah, and yeah, it clearly he didn't try to look closely at the whole context because he was claiming
exactly.
that he was
Context is
talking
important.
about all Mexicans, and he was not. He was talking about, for one thing, illegal immigrants, and for another thing, the bad ones. And
Yeah,
at the same time, even though it sounds bad, if you just take the little clip where he's like, they're rapists, and I'm sure some of them are good people, it sounds like he's making a generalization, but that's not the context. The context is illegal immigrants that are bad that are coming into the country.
yeah.
He's saying, I'm sure
So
some of the people coming in the country are
that
good people.
I'm not being rude here, Josiah, if you're watching this, but that to me showcases that you're an ignorant citizen who just looks at the left wing media, um, and makes a judgment or generalization.
It's hard though, man, because we are a species that has a tendency to put certain people in the in group, certain people in the out group, and have an intense, like ferocious loyalty to our tribe, to
Look,
our
if you're gonna have a stance, you should have backup evidence. You should have evidence as backup. You should be educated on the freaking thing, and you should have the context of the situation. I don't give a shit if we have a tendency to look at these things and then just come to a generalization. That's wrong. You're an asshole if you do that. Uh, but
it's just I can understand it so well that I can't even blame people because it's we are not wired to be truth seeking. We are wired to be loyal to our tribe, and his tribe is the compassionate left wing tribe, and so he also values truth, which is the surprising fact of it. When you see that our realities are so completely different, we see things so completely differently. He believes in truth and truthfulness, but he is being lied to and he doesn't know it. He thinks that everything he's hearing is true.
well, he needs to know it. It's ignorance. But I just got to show you one thing, Kellen. It's
Sure.
very important.
Right. So I got accused of being far right because I refer to myself as a Trump supporter, and that's
No,
because that's the way the liberal media, the CNN, all the left leaning media portrays Trump supporters. They portray them as
I
hillbilly,
don't
far right
support
wing, gun toting people.
CNN. I don't support them at all.
No, they lie. They lie tons, and
How would you
they
say? Why would you say they're liberals?
turn people against police.
They're
They
not
make up all
liberals.
this bullshit about these events having had anything to do with race when they didn't, and just so much. People are so gaslit on the left
Why
into
would you say
believing.
they're liberals?
Uh the liberal media, well, because that's what you call people who are left wing is liberal media, but the liberal media is now basically aligned themselves with the far right. They support the far right. The democrats the democrats they literally support these radical left people in Black Lives Matter and Antifa. They literally support them with funding, with money to bail them out of jail, and they discourage police from stopping them from destroying billions of dollars worth of property and committing acts of violence on a regular basis. So they're all in support of that. They're completely you know they're completely aligned with the far right and the radical left. I mean, the far left and the radical left. It's insane. It's insane to watch. So I call them liberal media because that's what you call them.
Wouldn't you call the far left conservative and the far right liberal?
No,
Why though? Why don't you understand basic principles?
I do. It's you that doesn't. Conservative is a word that means the right, and liberal is a word that means the left.
Well, you look at that, eh? They got the dictionary definitions wrong.
What are you reading?
Nah, that was a joke.
Okay, well, that's not true. Conservative people who are conservative are called right wing, and people who are liberal. See, you don't like people smoking a joint. You don't like people wearing hippie outfits. That's not liberal. Liberal means
Liberals are
you like
professionals.
freedom and you like for people to be free.
Liberals are professionals.
Conservative
And that's
people
not no, conservatives are not professional.
conservative people care. Yes, they are, and they care about traditional values. I don't know, like basically take a poli-sci course, but don't, because they're completely overrun by critical race theorists and communists, Marxists.
See, conservative, holding traditional attitudes and values and cautious about change or innovation, typically in a relation to politics or religion. See,
Exactly.
holding
Exactly.
traditional
That's
values.
you. That's you.
Holding traditional values.
That's
I don't
you.
want to. That's not me.
No?
I'm more professional. I don't like hippies.
Yeah, that's holding traditional values. You're against hippies because you like traditional values. That's what that
Being a
means.
hippie is traditional.
No, it's not. Being
Yes, it is.
traditional is wearing a collared shirt and being, a good, responsible, law-abiding, professional citizen. That's a traditional value. Hippies
What-
broke with tradition and wore funky colors and did all this non-traditional stuff.
Okay. Liberal espouse a wide array of views depending on their understanding of these principles, but they generally support free markets, free trade, limited government, individual rights, capitalism, democracy, secularism, gender equality, racial equality, internationalism. I support these all.
No, I know, I get that, and so do most conservatives. Does that say, by the way, does that say liberalism? Is that the definition of liberalism?
Liberal.
That's the definition of liberal?
Yeah.
Okay, well, fine. But yeah, instead of, yeah, okay. I understand how you can respect all of those things
Well, I do.
and still be
But
conservative.
No, okay, so I'm not a traditionalist, but I do value professionalism. All right. And why don't we just search this up? Is being traditional also professional? Because maybe they're not. Traditional and non-traditional practices, nope. Belief, virtue, necessity.
People who are liberal means free. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So people who are liberal tend to not care whether people smoke weed or dress colorfully. That's what people who are very liberal usually don't care about those things because they believe that people should be free to make such choices and do such things.
I think like okay, so I'll tell you my reason for each of these, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So open to new behavior or opinions and willing to discard traditional values. Okay.
Liberal,
So
right?
yeah.
Good. That's a
And
definition that you don't fit.
okay, they have more liberal views towards marriage and divorce than some people. Discard traditional values. What does it mean to be traditional?
Well, that's because the thing is you're not from Western culture, so you don't have the exact same traditions as people from Western culture. But as a disposition, I'd say you're more traditional because you don't like it when people deviate too much. Traditional means conserving what the culture's norms, conserving the culture's norms, and you don't like it
Right
when
here,
people
wait.
deviate too much.
So a traditional organization or a person who prefers older methods and ideas to modern ones. I prefer modern.
Okay.
Modern. I don't prefer traditional.
In that case, why, like, when you talk about Halloween, why do you want Halloween to be traditional rather than what it is, the modern Halloween?
Okay, so first of all, changing the meaning of something can change the way society looks at things, right?
Yes.
Yes, and a person from an ethnic origin based in a different country across 786 miles or kilometers. Actually, that's a very accurate number. I just don't like change because first of all, I don't like change. The reason being Halloween should be a scary thing, right? Shouldn't be Cinderella.
Because that's what it was traditionally. So you're very conservative.
No.
Basically just expressed a
Well,
traditionalist attitude.
okay, you know what? I'm a liberal and I'm a conservative. There you go.
That's good.
So I'm a centrist.
Right. That's why I'm a centrist.
Frickin'.
And by the way, if you
We-
want
we
your
can't be
money,
one side. We can't be one side.
some people are. A lot of people are.
Well, I prefer modern methods incorporated with traditional ones.
Do you want your hard-earned money that you literally went to your job or ran your business or did whatever you did in order to earn? Do you want some government taking a chunk of that and paying for the education of the people of the nation? Do you want that?
I do want that.
Good. Then that's a liberal attitude.
And I looked back at my religion for a second, serving all of humanity. So that's
Yeah. Okay, so I do see you as a centrist then, because you have liberal attitudes and you also have what seems to me like a deep innate tendency towards conserving tradition and sort of not liking it when people deviate too much from certain norms and traditions which you think are valuable and important for maybe a well-functioning society and for people's well-being in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult, man. Like, things change. Um, like the last time I heard of the tooth fairy, right,
Yeah.
was in Prince Rupert when I was in grade 3, right?
Hmm.
Like, we should be able to hear like, society's evolved. No kid knows that shit anymore. Like, does your kid know what the tooth fairy is? No.
He's too young to understand the
Doesn't matter.
concept.
He
He
should
hasn't
be
lost
one.
any teeth yet.
Oh, well, okay, well. A 12-year-old or a 9 or 10-year-old should know what a tooth fairy is, and many of them don't.
Hmm.
And I've noticed that in Surrey. It's a big deal. You know what? I should do a study on this. This is freaking scary shit.
Tooth
Why?
fairy
Why?
belief.
Why don't they know that? They should know that. These are
Yeah.
fundamental principles of our society we should have.
We should have a tooth fairy.
Well, no, we should have a belief system that believes in the tooth fairy.
I like it. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, look, these are the things that we grew up with, man. And here we are with the iPhone 12 being released, and it doesn't even have a goddamn power charger, like the brick. It doesn't even have the brick or headphones. They're changing, they're shifting everything. And the other thing I noticed, they're advertising it on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Where children, teens are there. I read a news article just this morning. Apple forgot to market to the general public. So they did it on TikTok, and the ads started rolling in this morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Things are changing.
Well, they are changing, because if you say that you're not going to get a power charger or a brick, that means that everyone who has an iPhone will get the iPhone 12. That's what they're insisting right there. Right? They're saying that, okay, we're not going to give it to you because you already have a bunch and it's good for the ecosystem. Right? So
Interesting.
fuck you. Fuck all of them. Yeah, man, it's a weird shit. It's some weird shit, man. It's messed up.
What, Apple's tactics that piss people off? That's not a new thing. That's been going on for a while.
Been going on, but like Trump 2020. Trump 2020. Yeah, man.
I think we got a good little podcast for this week.
Of course, it was an interesting topics we talked about. I liked it.
Yeah. All right, Ekam.
Yeah,
Thanks again.
Yeah, man. Do we have any other things that we need to cover, like some weird random topics?
What did I just send you? Oh, Project Veritas, which is slandered by the left as being, funded by Trump or something like that. It just came out with a video of this guy who's in the Democratic Party in Colorado, and
Yeah.
he's talking about killing Nazis in the street and guillotines and how it's gonna be a revolution. He's clearly radical left because his platform is called Our Revolution. But he's talking about how he loves Antifa because they're willing to use violence and all this stuff, and it's all on video. It's pretty intense.
I will not watch that.
Okay, he's talking about guillotines. He's talking about how we got to kill some billionaires, and then eventually, after this communist revolution, we're going to send them all
listen.
to an island.
If we don't get Trump as our president,
Yeah,
I'll tell you what's going to happen. Biden is going to run every rich person out of America, and they're going to start putting their money in Abu Dhabi. All right, they're going to hold their money there, and half of the money or the wealth is already there.
This guy was laughing at Biden. He said as long as he's got a functional signing hand, we'll be at his house protesting every day. We're gonna own him. All this stuff. They laugh at Biden. They think they're gonna take over, and Biden's gonna be nobody.
Well, he is a nobody already. I mean,
Right, and he's talking about sending all the rich people to an island, call it Greed Island, and the undercover reporter talking to him was like, "Yeah, the greed gulags," and he's like, "Ah, yeah, the greed gulags." Gulags is a term from the Soviet Union of
yeah.
the actual camps where they sent anybody who was an enemy of the communist state.
So yeah, interesting topic. But can I talk about a recent Netflix show I'm watching?
What's that?
So you won't believe this, but I'm watching this show, and it's called Homeland,
Yeah,
and it's amazing, Kellan. Actually amazing. Well, amazing for me, but I don't think you would like it.
why?
Um, I don't know. I don't know. Have you ever watched the show Designated Survivor?
No, I was told by a friend that that's a good show too.
It is a good show. But this show is about a soldier who went to Iraq, and he was going to fight off some enemies, terrorists actually, and he gets caught with his buddy. So there was two of them. They both get caught, and the world presumes that they're dead, but they're not dead. 8 years later, on a mission to Iraq, they see the soldier, and they find him. He's like, "I'm an American," and they take him home, and he's an American hero. He's known by everyone. He's on every news channel. Paparazzi's in front of his house, and he's just a middle-class member who got famous after 8 years of captivity. Now, what happened in that 8 years was really interesting, but you would have to watch the show. So he was with a terrorist. His name was Abu Nazir, and he's an Iraqi terrorist, and basically has a plan at an attack on America. Actually, when he got to that place in Iraq, nothing was going to happen. They were just going to keep him, but the Americans killed 82 of the children in Iraq, right? So that, and one of them was his child, Isa was his name, and the Americans killed his child in a drone strike. So his child died, and he wanted revenge on America, and blah, 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 blah. He returned, and he was turned around, and now he's congressman of the United States, and they're going to plan attack, and I'm literally watching. This is amazing. This show is amazing, and
I've heard it. I've heard it's good. Why are you saying I wouldn't like it? What is it about me that wouldn't like Designated Survivor?
No, this is not Designated Survivor. I'm talking about Homeland.
Oh yeah, what is it about me that wouldn't like Homeland?
Well, exactly what I said. I don't think you like terrorists. I don't think you like any of that shit.
Well, why wouldn't I? If it's a good show, I like it. Like, I know a good show when I see it. They entertain me, so of course I would like it.
You said you like shows that help humanity. You're watching The 100 right now, so that's a show that represents moving on, moving forward. Whereas Defending an Attack, I don't know. I don't think you would.
Not at all. I like all kinds of shows.
Well, you like apocalyptic, like me.
I like shows that are well written, well made. Well, we talked about apocalyptic shows and the fascination that they hold, and how the heightened enjoyment of apocalyptic shows right now might be because the world is in a weird place with COVID and the political polarity.
I like apocalyptic shows way before that. You could see.
I think everybody did, but if it is heightened now, then it could have something to do with the state of affairs in the world. But
yeah, no, I always like that shows, but yeah, I don't think you would like it.
Why?
Anyways,
You're still saying that?
I could be wrong. Yeah, I am saying that.
I've been told it was good. Homeland, yeah. I've been told it was good. I don't see why. Is there propaganda? Is it bullshit? Because I don't like propaganda. And I do know that there are movies and other
What do you mean by propaganda? How could
types of media that are propaganda?
It's not propaganda. It's government, and it's people. It's actually really interesting. Yesterday, I just found out that they were going to kill Sergeant Brody.
Yeah.
The CIA was going to kill him. They had a gun to him, but they didn't find the terrorist, Abu Nazir, because he was in America. Imagine so the world's #1 wanted terrorist got into the American soil, got onto the American soil. How the hell does that happen? This was hilarious because I'm excited. Like last night, I stayed up till 1 o'clock just cheering. I was like, "Yes, you piece of shit, you got it! Holy shit!" But then they missed. So I'm really enthusiastic about this. Like I'm watching this and I'm like, "You go, motherfucker, you bitch! Let's get the fucking asshole." That shit. And I'm just enthusiastic about the show. Like I like the plot twists. I love it. It's amazing. It gets me going. Honestly, it's.
You know
I'm right.
what?
I'm right.
If you enjoy a show, you can just assume that I'll enjoy it too. You were right about the 100. You're probably right about Homeland. I'll check it out.
Well, I like my shows, man. I like my shows. Yeah, man. I watched this other show. It's called 3%. Only 3%. Well, basically, the entire world is destroyed, and there's essentially two places. The other side is a beautiful, luxurious island with all the technology that one could have, drones flying around, giving you food and all that shit. And the other side is a hole in the middle of the earth. Not in the middle, but like is a hole in the earth. And basically every year there's a test, and anyone who reaches the age of 20 can apply for this test. And basically they have to go through this process, and the process allows them to move forward. If they fail the process, then they're permanently out, because you only get one chance at this test. If you make it, you make it to the offshore, and if you make it to the offshore, you're successful and you live a good life. But the only problem you have is you cannot reproduce on the offshore. So they give you this shot, and you can't reproduce. This is so everyone gets to go through the process, and you can't reproduce, so that people didn't pass the test. You would have to actually go through the test. It's amazing. And at the end, the new season just dropped, and they destroy it. They fuck it up. They bomb the place.
That's the end of the show?
Well, now it is. Yeah, they bomb it, and then they live happily ever after in a hole together.
Nice.
Yeah. I just summarized the entire show, but there's this other show I like. It's called Lost in Space. It's amazing, man.
Oh, I did start watching that. I think I'm on season 2.
Bro, there's only
stopped
2
watching
seasons.
it, though.
They're
I didn't
dropping.
finish it.
They're dropping season 3 soon, but it's amazing, man. See, I told you I love apocalyptic, and I love space in general. Just spaceships.
You kind of like sci-fi.
Sci-fi and space, yeah.
Yeah, anything with space is considered sci-fi, because we're not really in space.
Well, I love sci-fi.
Science fiction.
Freaking amazing. I love it.
Yeah. Cool, man.
It's amazing. I don't know why I'm like that, but I am, and it's weird because it's interesting, because I don't think it's ever going to happen in my lifetime. But
I think sci-fi is for intelligent people, and probably predominantly men.
Well, yes.
I think there's fewer women Star Wars fans than there are male.
Of course. I think so too. And it's not just Star Wars. I've never even watched Star Wars, to be honest. Which is very interesting. I just don't like it. I don't like it.
Well, the original movies are quite dated now. If you saw them in 1976,
Harry Potter?
you probably would have been blown away.
I don't know a thing about Harry Potter.
No.
Do you know Harry Potter?
I do, but I was too old when those books came out, so never read them.
High five, bro. Rock, paper, scissors?
Let's not. That won't play well on the audio version.
Oh shoot, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
anyways,
man.
It's been a great conversation, Ekam, and let's do this again, Zoom style.
Yeah.
Quite good.
Yeah, it is. I look forward to these podcasts, man. Just being yourself, just having a decent, healthy conversation, provides a sense of communication, I guess.
Yeah. So please subscribe to the
provides
podcast.
us with the ability to communicate with one another in the midst of a pandemic, whereas you would not be able to because you were isolated.
Yeah, we need to communicate, people. Communication is a basic human need. So let's keep doing it.
By the way, this guy was stuck in a hole for 8 years and he didn't communicate with anyone. Still had nightmares, but imagine,
Can't believe we survived.
You know what the number one the worst thing that anyone can possibly do or torture someone.
Yeah. Isolation.
Isolation, silence, fucking
Yeah.
kills you.
Yeah. Well, we need human interaction. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll die
Yes, we will.
or barely survive.
You know, humans are the. We should just end this. Never mind. Humans are the worst at survival. We're killing ourselves.
And yet, we're still here.
Yeah, well, we're also one of the smartest, but we're also one of the dumbest at the same time. We're not even a type 1 species yet. We're a 0.8 species.
That is, what is that like? That's a sci-fi term, isn't it?
No.
Like the idea of being what's a 1.1 species? What is it?
Well, type 1, type 4. Type
yeah.
4 is
Yeah,
amazing.
that's all sci-fi stuff, but yeah, it's like possible states that the human species could reach.
I think it could reach a pretty high level. Anyways,
We'll cover that
nice
next time.
talking to you. Yeah, we'll talk about that next time. Anyways, Kellan, it's been an honor to be on your podcast once again. I do appreciate it. First
Yeah,
time.
love having you.
Yeah.
Love talking to you. So yeah, please subscribe, please like the videos and
Like the video and subscribe because we need subscribers.
have a great rest of your day, and we'll see y'all later.
Peace.
Peace out.
Oh, shit. Edit that part out.